Blue and John Crow Mountains. Both mountains landlocked area are joined across. John Crow Mountain peak to your left, where I sit. The Blue Mountain peak to your right. That landlocked area is known as the Blue and John Crow Mountain Natural Watershed. Water that is generated there. The Blue and John Crow Mountain Natural Watershed aquifers are underground, whatever, natural. Supplies 40% of Jamaica's water. Yeah? In addition to that, from that area derive several rivers. Rio Grande, Stony River, which Stony River is the original nanny town for the Maroons. It was called Nanny, it was named Nanny Town by the British and Stony River by Nanny and their people. No. And we speak of the Twee. T-W-I, it is pronounced the Twee or the tree. And it's our mother tongue from the Akan speaking people of Western Ghana. Welcome.
Alright. So we reach.
Thank
what was
you,
that?
sir.
2? That was 2.
Comes through our land, which is the original Nanny Town Stony River, named by Nanny and her people, not by the British. There's a river that goes through the junction. How many of you know the junction? What we call the junction?
No junction.
Through the junction. From Portland or whatever for do things. Yeah? It comes through St. Andrew,
Wagwater.
St. Mary, Wagwater, Tan River, different rivers join. So that's 3. We speak of St. Thomas, Plant Garden River, CGR, right? St. Plant Garden River. Island River is the smallest of them all, and that's the one that runs through the center of our community. You know that river, right?
Yes. Well, I don't
Middle of Bath. The one that Maroon Diet, round up the motherland, which means from home away from home. When they came here, the mountainous terrains of the Blue and John Crow Mountain was conducive to their total lifestyle. Everything about their lifestyle, just like back home in Africa. Which means they could afford freely, they could afford freely, and when I say freely, I mean beyond the highs of the colonizers. They could have hunted freely from the rivers and the springs, hunted freely from the land, the wild boars, the conies, the birds.
Okay.
And before we came, the iguanas would have been
More plentiful.
not mainly by our people.
Yeah, I think that's why.
So in terms of survival, hunting from the rivers, the land, the springs, the wild boars, the ponies. Now, this here, who know these beans here? Tell me what you call this. Anybody in here can give me a name?
The world's biggest beans. Some kind of chestnut.
No.
The world's biggest beans.
To make jewelry.
The world largest beans. The world largest beans.
It's good for
Correct.
diabetes.
Correct. It is known as carcoon.
Carcoon.
C-A-C-O-O-N, English.
Carcoon.
K-A-K-O-O-N or K-C-O-O-N. Romantic spelling. World largest beans can be eaten when processed, can be eaten raw, can be eaten cooked. Yeah?
So this is in.
You get, yeah man.
You have to break it open to eat it. Yeah.
Burn these.
Remember he
So
told us
like
about. He
so
told us
like
about it
basically
yesterday
like when
at
you
the
say you're
beach.
a patch, whatever, you get a large fire, wood fire, you put a sink on top of the fire, and you put a large good amount. So they start popping. Pop, 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 pop.
Okay.
Take them out, break them, retrieve the kernel. Very bitter.
Yes,
Very bitter.
but nutrition.
Very bitter,
I mean,
which amounts to poisonous. Which means you have to soak these for 8 days. 8 days, changing the water every morning, washes them off every evening, washes them
It's a whole
off,
lot
put
of work
fresh
for a
water.
bean.
8 days. They become swollen, they start to swell. The texture is crunchy like a peanut or cashew. Taste incomparable. Not taste like it. You put this in your mouth and you beat and you add your spice and you wet in there. You have this distinct coffee background taste in your taste bud.
I'd love to taste some.
A handful of these, throw in a pool of water. If they sink, the water is contaminated. If they float, the water is good. These are born from vines. The vine that bore these beans. You can drink water from the vine too, like jelly, natural water. Slightly, just a tad, bitrish. You might taste that on the tip of your taste bud, yeah? Natural. Very good for your medicinal purpose.
What is good for? Everything. Diabetes.
Yeah, she tell you diabetes.
Diabetes.
That's one.
See? Everything.
Did you know that the uniform that is now known as camouflage?
That's where they made it from.
And no copy them copy recipe, man. It was called ambush by Nani and her people known as the Maroons. They were so skilled. They were so dexterous in their finger works that they would have woven the vines from head to toe. You can see the hive, you can see not even the fingernail, you can see not even the pint and toes or bone. And it was called ambush, which is known as camouflage. And these, that what, and a story, factuality. These are some of the methods that Nani and her people known as the Maroons would have been using to conquer or to get the upper hand in regards to fighting the Great British Army.
Wow.
With indigenous weapons, indigenous methods, indigenous lifestyle, and the ad was to survive under adverse conditions. The cavities of the Blue Mountains are a pretty place. When it cold, it cold.
Yes. We've been there.
Compare. No man, you go to the pretty part of sunshine.
Hmm.
Where you go average, you go Mavis Bank, you go cross the river, you go
Someone
Hagley's
know the
Gap,
ins and
Yeah,
outs of the
you
Blue
go
Mountains.
Minto Hill,
Yes,
you
yes,
pass
yes.
Happy Green, the last coffee factory, you go a rest house, then you go at the peak.
Yes.
At the pretty part that we been in the cavity, the limestone era of the Blue Mountain, which is our side. Which most of the mountains in the Blue and John Crow Mountain and our side are of limestone, which we call honeycomb rocks. Honeycomb rock.
Honeycomb rock.
Honeycomb. Honeycomb.
Same boat.
Okay, yes.
Honeycomb.
Comb. Yes,
Like what you
yes.
see.
Honey is in the rock?
Because the shape,
No, the
the
shape.
rocks are shaped
Shaped.
like honeycomb.
Yes, the holes.
Same pose when we show. Yeah.
You get what I mean? And that's where they would have set and fortified.
Wow.
Like I said, for many years, it was being breached. So they keep now moving from the Blue to the John.
Wow.
Which is this community. The woman town, the Catterwood, which means multiplication would have been transpiring secretly in the John Crow Mountain. Most of the fighting between the British and the Spaniards would have been in the Blue Mountains. Okay? There would have been some skirmishes in countries that is now classified as Middle Eastern country. Africa.
Yeah.
Originally, the Bible speak of these countries. Persia, Iran, Egypt still there. Israel still there.
Yeah. So
The only difference, modernization changes.
Yes.
Israelites to the Israelis. And we can go on the Jordan people, them. The people them
Still
over
Africa.
Palestine. The people are the
Still
same,
Africa.
are the same people them the Bible speak of. You get what I mean? So we speak in Africa, the motherland.
So I choose something with the gun then.
Yeah, don't answer yet.
The answer you.
I don't know.
Nice.
I'm going to answer you right now.
Answer me then.
It wasn't Nanny. Nanny was mainly the sole female warrior on the battlefield as the leader. She would have led a male dominated army. The women, they were the spiritualists, they were the architect, they were the farmers.
They had a role. They had an important role.
Not just role, they were the mastermind.
No, yeah, it's not just rule.
So
were
they
leaders.
would have been directly
The strategies.
connected to Grand and I. Directly. Then you would have had males, early Maroon warriors, even before Nanny came, like John Coffey.
I read about
Coffee, yeah. That's why when they said
Sifudamento.
coffee a while ago, me I said,
Sifudamento. Guy Tony. Bemba. Bemba was a female. Powerful even like Nanny. You get what I mean? And she was from this community. And she died here. Unfortunately, she would have died without knowing that her life wasn't in danger. But as in Maroon parlance, we don't take no check. Because we see Obroni, and we see Bobosi, we gone, and we are killed that.
what that means. I don't know what that
Obroni means strangers, which all of you are.
Mm.
Obroni. Obroni means stranger. Mainly white man, but in general stranger. And when I say Bobosi, or when Kenny Odabra, policeman are come. We don't do well with police, we mostly do well with the soldier because the soldier answer to our call.
Mm.
Through the governor general, through the commonwealth. The police comes in when there are certain level of crimes. And
It's
we
a
call
peaceful
it
area as well.
one of the most peaceful communities in Jamaica. We don't do crime here. So your question again? Touch me back with it again.
Did she get the shot in her
catch the
butt?
bullet.
There were various warriors males like Nanny who would have been repelling bullet over time. We speak of supernatural powers, we speak of spiritualities, which like I said is known as the common Indian practices, which derive from esoteric all that it entails. So we drumming, we singing, we dancing, the bush them what we use, the drum what we use, and all those things, the abeng how we blow the abeng. The abeng is used to communicate with Maroons and Maroon warriors. It is also used to communicate with the ancestors.
Mm.
So if me blow this abeng certain kind of way now, you don't think them go come.
Me no wonder one.
When-
Another one they will want.
When they comes, you have to appease. You get what I mean?
Oh.
Our chromatic play and practices, when we need to communicate with our ancestors, it is being done here, in this space here, between specific council members and specific cultural group members. When we have our annual celebration, when all Maroon communities from across Jamaica, inclusive of the Taino village and the Taino village, which is in St. Mary, which their celebration will be the 26th of this month as we speak. Each Maroon community celebration, all Maroon communities participate.
Oh.
Individually or everybody?
January 6th.
I know
January 6th is a compound.
Yes, I know.
March is Flagstaff, which is inclusive of Maroon Town in St. James and Kojo Town, formerly Maroon Diet, Trillana Town, Flagstaff. That's where the peace treaty was signed. And those three Maroon communities are known as the Leeward Maroons. They were the ones who signed the peace treaty 1739. The Windward Maroons, original Maroons, consisted of Porton here, East Portland, Charleston, West Portland, Scottsall, St. Mary adjoining parish, and also in St. Mary, the Taino village. Afi. Afi.
I never heard of that.
You know Afi?
They hear both
St. Thomas. First community that borders Eastern and Portland through the Kuna Pass through. Which makes Popcorn, Jamaica's Popcorn DJ,
He's Maroon.
He's Maroon. Not just
in a
Maroon.
real life, I don't know if none of us.
Yes, he went to Ghana.
Buju Banton,
It's Maroon.
He's Morton.
this is Morton.
Buju is Morton?
Right up there. One community named Barry Hill before we reach Carmen Balance. The original Myries originate from Populis.
Interesting.
Which means Popcorn is a Maroon from this community because the original inhabitants of Afield came from Moortown here. As Port as St. Thomas was the parish that the Maroons, the Windward Maroons, could have gone to ply their trade. The Windward Maroons, except Scottsall Maroon would have gone to Port Maria. Charlestown, Moortown goes through the Kuna Pass Strait. A 10 mile from here, so if you go through the mountain, if you got Charlestown Maroon, through the trail. So you see, if you go right up on top of the mountain range there now, you look right down in the Rio Grande. So you see the mountain trail there, you can travel from Port Antonio all the way to the original Nanton, and from Westward all the way to the original Nanton via the trail.